I'm going to tell you 3 things that great moms do that give them fulfillment in motherhood, that give them a sense of joy and purpose beyond and outside of their families, and confidence within themselves. And I'm going to tell you what creates amazing kids. So even the smartest parents struggle with some of these things that are so basic and so common, and we think, this shouldn't be happening for me. I've read all the books. I've talked to my therapist about this ad nauseum, or even have been to parent coaching or whatever it is, and these things are still happening for me. Today, I'm going to give you a shortcut and tell you 3 things, and these for me are things I see over and over again that really great moms do that create happiness and fulfillment for them in motherhood and great relationships with their kids. If you don't know me, my name's Honor Janetsky. I am a therapist helping moms through my Awaken Motherhood program to go from feeling overwhelmed, reactive, struggling in their relationships with their kids, to have the kind of connection they want, to trusting themselves, confidence, being out of the woods of outbursts and meltdowns, and finding true fulfillment and joy in this phase of life, this season of life that really is, once your kids get to be teenagers, you realize going to be over in the blink of an eye. So I'm here to help you with that. Welcome, and tell me where you are listening from when you join. Please say hello in the comments, and tell me where you are logging in from. So 3 things that parents do. Number 1, this one is something you might not have noticed, or you might not know how to name it. So the greatest moms that I know are parenting intuitively. They parent intuitively. In other words, they trust their intuition or their gut with the decisions they make about their kids. Okay. So you guys know the mental load, the emotional labor is enormous when you are raising kids. There are a million decisions to make. You have to prioritize, you have to organize, you have to create routines and structure. You have to choose some things and let other things go. What's your biggest strength that backs you in doing that? Whether you're using it or not, it's your intuition. So mothers who parent intuitively are trusting their inner voice. They're listening for their inner voice. They're chatting with their higher self, with God, with the universe. They are then following that sense or that feeling, that gut feeling that they have. They're trusting their inner knowing, what we call inner knowing. This is core curriculum in my work with my clients, essential to every single week of the content in Awaken Motherhood, my 16-week program. I teach moms how to go from not even knowing what that means, not ever having really listened to or trusted their inner voice, if you're anywhere from there, to feeling like you're a really intuitive, highly sensitive person, but it's not converting into a great relationship with your kid. There's some wires that are getting crossed. This is core content in a way that I work with my clients to help them to unearth that inner voice, really bring it into the forefront, trust the way that you hear it, the way it comes through for you, whether that's more in your thoughts or in your body or your gut feeling, or you hear it. And really utilizing that and bringing it to the forefront of your parenting so that you trust what you feel with your kids. You take action from what you feel is going to be what your kids need. Okay, that's number 1. And I put it up front because we're not getting into the weeds of how your kids react to that or respond to that or how you deal with the backlash of life happening. Just to lead as a mom, you need to be able to parent intuitively. Okay. Number 2, the best moms do not personalize their kids' behaviors. They know better than to personalize their kids' behaviors. Now, this one is a bit tricky for people who are sensitive, who care so much. If you're a mom who's super committed, you care so much, you want to be able to really give your kids everything that they need. And you pour a lot into that, like a lot of the moms who I've worked with. just gonna my focus mode on, so I'm not getting texts. If that is you and you are someone who shows up in that way, you give, you maybe even overgive. And then when someone in your family is like eye roll at something that you say or do, or you put food on the table and one of your kids goes, ugh, gross. And you've just spent an hour of your precious time in between work and then whatever the evening routine is, serving your family to nourish them and feed them with the healthiest of foods that you prepared with love. And someone goes, ugh, gross. Wonk. You feel that hit you in the chest. You feel it like a kick in the stomach. You remember that you heard somewhere, don't take your kids' behaviors personally, that you should just let this roll off your back. But the reason you can't is because your own unresolved content, your own inner emotional unmet needs from your marriage, from your past relationships, from your childhood, from raising this baby who was so hard, maybe, those unresolved, unmet needs in you are screaming for attention. They're screaming about how unfair this is. And you know it is unfair. They're screaming about how wrong this behavior is and how your child needs to shut that down immediately and start appreciating, or your worry and concern that you have raised a brat and it's already done and it's too late and you can't make it any better, right? This is where your mind goes when these behaviors come up or during an outburst and you feel reactive. When you are getting activated emotionally, you're going to take their behavior personally, their words personally. It's going to happen. So how do great moms do it where they don't personalize every little behavior that their kids are throwing at them? Well, it is no mystery that when you resolve those unmet emotional needs, when you resolve the earlier wounds or early life trauma, I call it lots of different things in my work with my clients. When we resolve those things with our clients in Awakened Motherhood, the taking things personally automatically stops. Automatically stops. You don't have to work hard to stop taking things personally, but you have to heal the things that are getting activated and causing you to react and take things personally. Does it make sense? So tell me yes if that's making sense in the comments. I don't want to over explain, but it is a bit tricky. I want you to understand that in order to resolve the sort of what happens on the outside, the external, you have to heal the internal, okay? Again, core work and core curriculum and content with our Awakened Motherhood clients. You have to rebuild what's happening in here to heal that piece so that what your kids are giving you when they're just being kids and eye roll and ugh, gross and ew, again, whatever the meal is that you've given them, in order for you to be able to take that in stride and not feel ruffled and just go like, well, you don't have to eat it if you don't want to, but there's nothing else. This is it. And that's kind of where our clients end up in Awakened Motherhood. Like, well, okay, that wasn't very nice. You don't have to eat it, but you can't speak to me that way, okay? That's hurtful when you speak to me that way. So being able to embody that goddess energy, that queen, which you are, that energy is here for all of us as a mom, that queen energy of like, that just doesn't fly with me. That's not going to happen. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to eat my meal in peace. And you can choose to eat it or not eat it. But that kind of, the way you're treating me is not cool. So embodying that kind of certainty, self-trust, confidence, that's what great moms know how to do. Okay, that's the second thing. And then the third thing is that how do they like get here? Think about all the most like shiny, glowy, at ease and fulfilled mothers that you know or have seen. And I'm not talking about way that people portray themselves on social media, because we've seen it long enough now to know that that is not truth. But people in real life who you know, who maybe you emulate, who are real humans, who have good days and bad days, but also seem to really be able to take motherhood in stride and really do enjoy being with their kids. Those women who feel balanced, who feel confident, who are kind of shiny and glowy, they invest in themselves. They do. They invest in themselves. They learn how to resolve what is in the way of them being able to be present with their kids. And we all have our stuff. Everybody has their stuff, their ways that their past or their work or the mess in the house or the unresolved problems of life get in the way of being able to be present with your kids and patient and compassionate and understanding and hold boundaries and all these tough things that we have to do at the same time to be able to create harmony at home and great relationships with our kids. And I'm doing them too. And if I wasn't investing in myself, I would never be able to show up for my kids with a sense of fulfillment already happening, with a sense of satisfaction within myself already happening. I'm not looking to them to feel that for me. I'm not looking for their behavior to be on track so that my night can go okay. I'm certainly not waiting for them to have something figured out so that I can feel okay. That would be setting myself up for failure. And our, again, core curriculum, core content in Awakened Motherhood, and the way that I teach moms to create that kind of harmony in their relationships with their kids and that kind of fulfillment within themselves so they can have peace at home, is about removing the obstacles in the way of it. It's about resolving whatever that is causing that anxiety, whatever is causing your brain to overthink and worry. It's about resolving what you see in your kid that's keeping you from being able to just relax in their presence. It's about what keeps you from setting solid boundaries or giving your kid the kind of parenting they need, right? And sometimes that's just like a block of your intuition. That's really the problem here. You don't know how to listen to that and follow that. But oftentimes it's more than that. Oftentimes it is more about things that you can't see that are kind of in your periphery. They're sort of hanging out in the edges, in your blind spots, and you can't exactly put your finger on what it is that is causing you to be ramped up or revved up, what it is that is causing you to not be able to handle when your kiddo is disrespectful or has an outburst or pushes back, or your strong-willed child who wants to lock horns with you and have a power struggle about things. Why can't I just roll with that? Or why can't I just be patient? Or the yelling and then feeling awful after. Like, why does that cycle keep happening? Those things happen because of the unresolved sort of emotional stuck places or content that happens in us. And again, like, people do lots of things, somatic work, nervous system regulation work, therapy, all these things. And there are lots of different ways of helping yourself out there. And I shared recently in an email where someone once, when I was in college, I was young and impressionable and kind of striking out into the world, deciding on which path I wanted to go on. And my college chaplain at the time, I asked him, which way is the better way, this way or that way, this job or that job? And he said, really, it doesn't matter, just as long as you step into the stream. And I hold that in my heart still to this day. And this is true about investing in yourself. Now, it's nice to have your eyebrows done, to have your toes done, to get a massage. These things are nice. But we all know they're very short-lived. The result is very short-lived. It's a splash in the pan. You go right back with your kids and you're back in the emotional heat of everything that's happening. If what you want is to create harmony, peace, enjoy the connection with your kids, you got to work in that realm. You can't get your eyebrows done and then hope to have a peaceful dinner with your reactive child. It will not translate to that result. So the problem has to fit, the solution has to fit the problem. So if your kid is reactive, is touchy, is highly sensitive, is strong-willed, is deep feeling, and you don't know how to handle those big emotions, you gotta do the work to invest in doing the work that is going to resolve that problem. That's going to calm your kiddo down. It's going to calm you down. Okay, so when I say invest in yourself, I mean choose the biggest problems that you see within your world, within your life, within your family, the things you need to tackle first, and you want to invest in those things first. Then, once that biggest problem has been solved, then you will have more capacity and bandwidth to invest in or focus on other things that you want to. Make sense? Okay, so of these three things, which one do you feel like you're best at? Let's go for positive first. Parenting intuitively, not personalizing your kid's behavior, so water off a duck's back, or investing in yourself. Which one of these have you done before? Which one of these do you feel like you're best at out of the three? And if it's none of them, say none of them. I want you to say which one you would like to get better at of the three. And you could say 1, 2, or 3, or you could just call them out: parenting intuitively, not personalizing my kids' behavior, or investing in myself. I'd like to be better at which one of these things. And say right now, let me know in the comments. I want to see where you're at with this. And I also want to invite you to get on my calendar, book a free clarity call. I'm happy to be present with you to really take a deep dive look at where you're most stuck right now, what's the thing you're wanting to create, and what's going to help you get there. And I will match you with whatever resources that is, or we can assess and discuss if you'd like help. If you want to explore what it looks like to work with me, I can take you through exactly what that looks like and how we do it and what kind of results you could expect from that if it turns out that that is a fit. Okay, I will drop that link also around this video. It is www.honorjanetsky.com/call. And again, it's a free half-an-hour assessment call. Happy to walk you through that. Okay, let me know. What's the thing you're best at, or the thing you want to get better at, of these three things that all great moms are so good at being and doing? Let me know. And until next time, I'll see you guys soon.